So I'm going to hand over to Casey now to tell us a little bit about himself. Tune in. You can get this probably on LinkedIn and all my socials, and of course we're going to turn this into a podcast episode as well.
Well, first off, thank you for having me, Anton. Following Jason Hetherington and Gary Larson, true Origin legends, mate. I was lucky enough to get 2 games, so I definitely wouldn't say I was an Origin legend, but I was to pull on that Queensland jersey, mate. As a kid growing up, grew up on the Sunshine Coast. Brisbane Broncos were my team. I was 8 years old when they came in the competition. I was soccer until I was 12 years old. Went over to rugby league when I was 12. Just followed my older brother who had gone to league, and Mum wouldn't let us play league until we were 12. So went over to league when I was 12. Followed the Broncos growing up. I remember, Darren Lockyer coming to our school presentation award, 1997. And just think, like, less than 10 years later, winning a premiership, standing on stage with him, getting a premiership ring there after the Melbourne Storm grand final is pretty cool. So, dream come true. Get to play for the Broncos. Like I said, I had 2 games for Queensland. To pull on that Queensland jersey for a young kid growing up in Queensland is it is the dream. So very, very lucky. And rugby league was very, very good to me. And I'll try to give back now where I can with the community. With community stuff with the Broncos, and
Good on you, mate. So why would Mum let you play till 12? Didn't want you to get hurt?
Just a danger. I think that's a mum thing, isn't it? All the mums. It's it is a contact sport, and it is very safe for kids. Like they've got some great rules in place to keep it safe until they're sort of 15, I think. It is a very safe game, and for kids to play. But as long as the kids are doing something active or being part of a team sport, like our kids are all soccer, my 3 boys.
Thanks for sharing. And I was the same case. I got to tell you, I was freaking out. My kids, they whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But like when I played, I was never any good because I was always scared. I just used to shit myself. Like body to body contact, that was too much for me. But I was worried about our boys. Hey, the one thing that differentiates you from these other 2 guys that I've had, your body's in good shape.
Those 2 were tough as nails. Like I was quite fortunate. But I'm very grateful. I played, I think it was around 15 seasons of professional rugby league, and to be able to still play sport now. Just play local second division soccer here at Bits, Tanham, but the body's in pretty good shape. Quite lucky. But those boys in the forwards, tough as nails. I can imagine they'd be a bit
getting knocked around.
They'd be creaking around a little bit, but 2 legends, absolute legends, and 2 great ambassadors we've got here in Central Queensland. Those boys, they're fantastic.
Absolutely, and as are you.
Thank you.
For the Broncos, mate. Big fan. But as a businessman as well. You went from footy into business? Oh, you started on the island?
Yeah, so I started on the island. I retired in 2012 and got an opportunity to come up here and have a year with Valleys, the Diehards, which was fantastic. Some great people at that club. And got a job over there at Curtis Island. So that was our first year in Gladstone, and we moved to Tanham Seniors. We loved it, and we haven't left since. So.
Stayed.
Yeah.
Good on you. Sidebar, we actually sponsored them, Vals.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I was a Valleys Junior back in the day.
Well, mate, nowadays I'm a neutral. I'm just for Gladstone Rugby League where I can, so all the clubs. But did have that year with Valleys, and it was great. Yeah, good people.
Good on you. Hey, can we just back to your experience playing footy, mate? You were 0.1%. You managed to achieve it. You played alongside the greats. What's it like for people that are listening to this, especially maybe some of those kids that are out there? What's the secret? How did you?
Well, looking back on it now and sort of knowing the stats, like knowing how hard it is to get there. I still am. I'm still someone that doesn't plan too far ahead. At the time you work hard and you try and get to the top, and looking back now and how lucky I was, especially to play that length of time, anything can happen, injuries, you can get unlucky, and anything can sort of happen. So for me, I'm very, very grateful that I got that time. I remember 15 years old, Paul Bunn, who's still the scout there at Melbourne Storm, he came in and I think we were an under 15 regional Sunshine Coast team, and he came in and he spoke about the stats and saying, that 0.001% of kids will get through and actually go and play one first grade game. So, and in that room there was 3 of us that went on to play NRL and actually went and played Origin. So Chris Flannery, Ben Ross, and myself. So I think I've told you the story before, mate. We must all have that same thinking that we're going to be that 0.01% that'll get there. So yeah, it was a good speech to have. It's what we needed to hear, and we do talk to the kids, about that. Education first and all that sort of thing, and sport's always going to be plan B, I guess. Because even if you are lucky enough, you're still going to have to work at the end of your football career or sport career. You still need to find a job. So, but I do like to tell the kids that story as well. And there is a chance, and if you work hard, you can get there.
Yeah. Have you ever had that conversation with Chris and Ben and just say, do you remember that conversation?
I don't think we've had that one in particular, but it stands out for me. I remember that as clear as day, Paul Bunn coming in, and he was with the South Queensland Crushers at the time, and it stuck with me, and it's definitely what I needed to hear at the time, yeah.
And that was motivation.
It was, yeah.
I can do it. Jeepers creepers. Mate, and I love that story, because you've told me that before, and and if that can be motivation for any other youngsters out there, be the 0.001%.
Yeah, and I was actually in Tannum Seagulls the other day, under 11s off to Townsville, and just went out there and presented the jerseys and gave them a few Broncos football to take up to Cowboy country. So, but I said the same thing to them, and it's all about enjoying the football. But the biggest tip I can give to the kids is always have football in your hands. Always just repetition, passing, catching, all the basics. That's the best advice you can have. Just repetition.
Right, always be playing with the football. I think Jason said he was the same. He was born to play. So he woke up with a foot in his hand. He went to bed with a foot in his hand, and just never stopped. Yeah, and I love when the kids the kid. The right kid, give them a football. Like you said, mate, they sleep with it. They've always got it in their hands, and it's I think the rugby league ball in the house, my mum would have nightmares about that one. But it's always had in the hands. If I was walking for the creek, just kicking around, chip and chase, just always practicing. So yeah, that's the best advice I can give a kid that would like to go further. I love that, and so practical too.
That's right.
Was your brother a good footballer? Like your
brother was a good footballer. Yeah, he was a good footballer. He was a halfback in a front rower's body.
Was he really?
He's a big guy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's a bit of a Quina Dolphins legend, Nathan. Yeah. So
still playing.
He was a good footballer. Younger, like me being a younger brother, always looking up to the older brother like we do. And he was the reason I went to league, and he was a great player in his own right. Yeah.
And how many games did he play?
He played local football for a long time. I think he probably still has the old boys game. Still has the old boys game every now and then. We played a carnival a few years ago up at Torres Strait. He was teaching up there at Thursday Island, and we played a carnival together, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been best.
That's a few years ago now, though. But yeah.
And so Nathan's a teacher, yeah.
Nathan's a teacher, down the Sunshine Coast, and does some mental health counselling and that sort of stuff.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Good on him. Actually, my wife, shout out to Mrs. G, her dad was a police officer on Thursday Island, Casey.
Well, there you go, yeah. What a beautiful place.
Beautiful part of the world. And playing with your heroes, you mentioned like getting a gold medal, getting a grand final with Alan Wanger, and that Broncos team would have been packed full of champions.
Yep. Well, Alfie was retired by then, but it was Darren Lockyer, Shane Woodkey, Brad Thorne. It was a great team. The way it turned out, it was my last game for the Broncos, so it was a nice way to finish. But just as a young fella, I guess, and playing in the halves, and telling these older guys, where you want them to go, and that's quite daunting when you're coming into first grade, and we talk about leadership and everyone knowing their roles. It's important that a player in that position can do that, and what I had to learn quite early. Yeah.
Wow. How did you learn it? Because you're a quiet sort of, you're not a
Yeah, I think you can still be quiet, but still you can still lead. And I guess in that position, you know, it's what's required. So yeah, you need to speak, and you need to be direct, and yeah,
clear
communication. Yeah,
I love it, mate. I love it. And last game with the Bronx, and then it was back to Paris. Yeah?
No, then we went to France.
That's right.
Yeah, we left to France and played for the Catalan Dragons. So I had 4 years over there. It was just life experience, and you know, my wife Sam, who we went to high school together, and that experience to live and work in France was amazing. We started our family over there. Had 2 of our boys over there in Perpignan. So yeah, it was a fantastic time of our lives. And then I came back to Parramatta. Parramatta was a great club for me as well. Yeah, we didn't have the best couple of years there, and that was sort of when the career ended after 2012 season, I think it was.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
What did you learn, mate, playing in another league in another country? Like, was the football different? Was it like?
Yeah, definitely the language barrier in France. We had 6 or 7 Australians there, and the coach Mick Potter, obviously Australian, but we had a lot of boys in there that, you know, growing up you just assume everyone can speak a little bit English. But for these guys, it was, you know, we're down the south of France, so you've got French, you've got Spanish, you've got Catalan, a whole other language. You know, English does not get taught where we were, so. You know, it really was just hello, how are you, and that's sort of it. So there was a lot of communication barriers with us. So, you know, we compromise, all our moves were in French.
Stop
yeah,
it!
You know, then you sort of, you know, after a game and you go to a pub, all of a sudden you have a few beers and you all seem to start talking the same language. But it's funny how that works. But, you know, some great guys over there, still keep in touch with them.
Right.
Poor old Catalans aren't going too well at the moment, yeah, we loved it. The experience was fantastic for us.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. And have some of those guys that you're still in contact, have they learned a bit more English now?
Probably, yeah. I would love to go back. I'd love to take the boys back where they were born and spend a bit of time over there. And yeah, some really good people over there. Like, I just remember Cloundra High School, Year 9 French, Mrs. G. Di G was my teacher, and I'm thinking, why will I ever need to know French? You know, why would I ever need to learn French? And there we go. We ended up living there for 5 years all up. So I wish I had paid more attention, but yeah, for the kids at school, if you don't see the value in what you're doing, just remember.
Good tip.
Yeah, that's what can happen.
I love it. And did you remember any French from Year 9?
Just basically how to say
Bonjour.
Bonjour, yeah, je m'appelle. That's about it.
I love it. What a good story.
No, we end up learning a little bit, and I could understand it quite well, and Sam could speak it quite well. So as a team, we could get around.
You were like a translation for each other.
So that was it. Yeah. But it was a great time.
Mate, I love it. You don't know what Di's husband's name was, do you? By any chance?
I can't remember. No.
At around the same time, well, a bit before that, Andrew G. Shout out to Mr. G. He was our dorm master at Noji.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, small world.
Yeah.
And that name's not very common. So anyway, fun fact. And Catalan Dragons back to Perth. Oh, sorry, back to Para, not Perth. And two seasons, one season.
2 seasons at Para. Yep. So it was quite ironic. I left school, went to Parramatta for 3 years. Sort of started the same year as Luke Burt, Nathan Hindmarsh, those sort of guys, and we ended up finishing together. So that was the year Hindy retired and Luke Burt, 2 absolute Parramatta legends of the game, one club players. So to finish with them was quite nice, but unfortunately we did get the wooden spoon that year, 2012, and Ricky Stewart sort of cleaned out a lot of the older boys and started again that following year, but. Yeah, I think I might have even got a wooden spoon signed by Nathan Hindmarsh somewhere at home. I don't think he didn't like that too much, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would have been tough, eh? After how many years did you play then?
So that was I think it was 15 years all up. You know, the highs and lows. That's what we love about sport, isn't it?
About life.
About life, yeah.
And there is no highs without the lows.
That's it.
So
exactly right.
Whole balanced, mate. And during that time. We're talking Origin at the moment. during that time, you got to pull on the jersey twice.
I did, yes. So the year was 2005. I was playing with the Broncos at the time. We had the bye. So yeah, I was away for the weekend. Got a phone call on a Saturday night. I missed the call. Just listened to the message, Michael Hagan saying that you've been called in Origin, and obviously I'm thinking the boys are just G'ing up. There's no way that could be right. But rang the number back, and Tony Carroll had to pull out injured, and I got the call up. So I flew to the Gold Coast the next morning. Went into camp. Just Billy Slater, Cameron Smith was my roommate. Just when those boys were just starting out, so it was just amazing experience. Suncorp Stadium, game 1. Just sitting on the bench, I still remember full moon, just watching the game, best seat in the house. Sort of 60 minutes in, hear my name. I thought, oh no, I've actually got to play too, don't I? So got up, Matty Bowen got the intercept try to win that game. So amazing experience. Brett Camorley got dropped. Andrew Johns comes back, tears us apart game 2 in Sydney, and then game 3 I was 18th man and we got beat. But then Queensland went on that 10-year run of wins. Yeah, something amazing run after that from 2006 and
wow.
And just thinking about the current Origin, I'm thinking those 10 years, all those Blues that are playing now, like that's as kids they would have grown up with that period of New South Wales is always losing. So, you see why the Origin means so much to them now, and they're playing some really good football, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. And they'll be hard to beat in game 2. Though I think look.
They'll be hard to beat, mate. Yeah.
What do you reckon? If you were Billy Slater, what would you say to the team? Like what would you do?
Look, I just feel it'll be a central Queensland boy who's going to get man of the match. I think Harry Grant's going to get man of the match for us.
Oh.
And I think he won't be happy about game 1. It's probably the game that he didn't play the best, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And he's just too good of a player. He'll come back and he'll play really well. So that's my tip. Queensland, Harry Grant, man of the match.
You heard it first here from Casey McGuire.
That's it.
Now I've got to ask you this question because I've asked Gary and Jason. DCE.
Yes.
I was sad for Daly Cherry Evans.
Yeah, I can definitely see it from both sides. Like,
of course.
I personally was leaning towards that. I think he's such a legend for Queensland and he deserved to go out his own way, but also a massive fan of Tom Bearden.
Of course.
So I can see it both ways. Yeah. We've gone Tommy's way, so as a state we'll get behind him, and
of course,
you don't always get the fairy tales. I remember Nate Miles sort of went out Origin with no fanfare, and he was just a fantastic player for Queensland. So don't always get the fairy tales, but we as a state we support the selection, and Tommy won't let us down. He'll be fantastic.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
Can't wait. Really looking forward to it.
Very exciting.
And Tommy to score a try, you reckon?
Oh, why not?
Good.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that first year too. And even though some people go out a bit quiet, like they leave such an impression on the game, like DCE has. Like DCE's 6 or 7 seasons.
Yeah, I think it'll be disappointing for him now, but when he looks back in a couple of years, he'll be very proud of what he's done. He's been a great Queenslander. He's pulled us out of the fire more than once. So he can be very proud of his efforts for Queensland.
Be proud. I love it, mate. That's so cool. Now, what else was going? I actually did a bit of prep, mate, which is unusual for me. Let's talk leadership. So DC was obviously our captain, and I've never heard you really talk about yourself as a leader before. But you said when you went into the Bronx team, and this is just from a leadership perspective, team, because obviously beginning group with your leadership, and I'm really intrigued by people like Casey and what their take on leadership is. For you, what defines sort of on-field leadership?
Well, I guess growing up, as a kid, you'll have one person that's your captain with the C next to the name, and you just feel like that's your leader. That's the way I was sort of brought up. But being in high performance teams, I guess over the years you see that you need a really good leadership group. You can't be just one person, and it can't really come from the coach either. So it has to be the guys on the ground. So in a football sense, it's your probably your more experienced players. For me at the Broncos, it was definitely Shane Webke, Petro, Brad Thorne were the three that I look as our strong leadership group that really kept us all grounded, and all three of them just great family men, really good role models. Would lead with their actions, and they wouldn't even have to say much. When they spoke, we would listen. So in a business sense, I guess you got to have some good leading hands that the guys respect, and when you talk about culture and that, it's got to come from the group. It can't be directed from the coach, or it can't be directed from senior management. It really has to be some ownership and just the guys buying into it, and that's the biggest thing for me. I think when I see a really good team on paper and they're not performing, you just straight away think there's some issues around leadership there, and that's why I really like what you do. We sort of met a couple of years ago now, and I think it's so important for teams to have good leadership, and unfortunately, we all know someone, or it's happened to ourselves, that you've had to leave a company because of poor leadership. So, you could be perfect for the role, or you could love your job, but because of the poor leadership, and you have to go somewhere else. I think that's pretty sad. Yeah.
And what do they say, Casey? We don't lead businesses, we lead leaders.
Correct.
Is the theory. Beautifully put, mate. And the one question that I'm always intrigued by, Casey, people like you and other star sports people always talk about the culture at the club. And I know it was a big one for you, and I know I've spoken with you to other ex-Broncos.
Yeah.
And this is such a big deal. So leadership from, let's say a Lockie and a Shane and a Petro.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're driving a culture of sorts.
Well, it's just, I see culture as standards. So, driving the standards, your desired behaviours are the normal behaviour. That's where you get to. So, those guys, I remember Shane Webke pulling us all we'd lost a couple in a row, and he just basically said, guys, it's consistency. Like, you need to have that level, that the benchmark where you get to, whether it's training or a game. Some days you feel better and you can go higher than that, but you need to have that consistency. And that, he probably spoke for 2 minutes, and I still remember that speech like it was, that was very important for our team at the time. And I think it's driving those standards, but it's got to come from the group. It can't come from above. Yeah.
Wow. 2-minute talk from Shane Webke that you still remember. So what year was that? 2005, 6?
The years, I reckon it would have been 05 or 06. Yeah, it was close towards winning that premiership in 06. But I think that's the biggest thing with culture. It's your behaviours are the behaviours you want, are the accepted or the normal behaviours, the ones that happen every day.
Nice, mate. I love it. Accepted, and a high standard needs to become normalised, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then when they drop, then you need your leadership group to say, hey, like that 2-minute speech, mate, that's impressive.
Well, you look at the Melbourne Storm, and Craig Bellamy for 20 years. It's probably been the only coach that I know of that has never had question marks around whether he's going to get sacked or not. And I've known Craig as an assistant coach in Brisbane, but I never had I was never fortunate enough to have him as a head coach. But I just think he's a fantastic leader, and he'd be a great one to learn off. I've read his book. I think we spoke. He's got a great book out there, and he treats everyone the same. So whether you're the cleaner or you're the CEO, like he treats everyone the same. He has a cafe test that a new player who comes in, he takes them to a cafe, and he are they using their manners? Are they treating people the way that the club would expect? Because at the end of the day, they're going to be representing the brand, and I think he's a great one for setting high standards, and it just shows their team. They're just always very consistent.
That's so true. I love the cafe test, eh?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
because how you treat someone that serving you.
That's right. Yeah,
will determine how you probably treat
I
others.
think when they fly, he makes sure all the boys are using their manners and cleaning up on themselves. So good leader.
Wow, good leader. I love it. And I think I'll probably, if you're listening to this 3-part series, team, you might have heard me say this already. I was lucky enough to get Justin Rodsky on, their CEO. I don't know if I told you that. And Justin said the same thing. Yep. He has something like a 3-metre rule in the club. He actually said to me, Anton, if you came into our club, you'd get greeted. So there's this whole, you're right, it's, even though it's got to be driven from the players and leadership group, it's sort of modelled from the top. Yep. And it's spoken about at that upper echelon of the organisation. And then obviously Craig, lives that, and so does the team. Great story. And I think, back in the day when you and I first got together, you're intrigued by Craig. You said, I'd love to have dinner with him. I'd love to. Now you've got his book.
I'd love to spend some time with him and watch how he operates. Like I think, I think he'd be great one to learn off. So Craig, listen to your podcast with you. I think, can I get down there for just shadow him for a little bit? Yeah.
Craig, if you're listening, and what can I
work experience?
Can I carry your bags?
Work sampling, yeah.
Mind you, I have actually reached out to Justin Rodsky seriously because I've offered a free Speak Safe program for his leadership team.
Yeah, awesome.
Because this really aligns with the stuff that Justin was talking about. Mate, if
I
get that, we'll go. If you get Craig, we'll see if we can meet in the middle. Look, just a couple of our favourite stories. The one that I love about culture and some of the things we talk about. It's about the name on the back, not on the front.
So Michael Hancock, one of your favourites, he talks about bringing players into the club that their first concern is the logo on the front, not the name on the back. It's a pretty good way of thinking. I think the Broncos are very good like that. They any club, I guess, any big organisation with a strong brand, they need to make sure that they're bringing in the right people. Yeah,
brand and you always talked about at the Broncos, and I love the way that you talk about that. You were were you like caretakers? Is that what Wayne used to say?
Yeah, so I remember. Don't remember all his speeches, but I remember that speech about no one person is bigger than the club, and that we're all just caretakers of the brand. Well, basically, this is. It's on our watch, I guess. So that's the way he put that. So I remember that sticking out to me, and the guys that came before you and the ones that come after, and it's just on your watch.
On your watch, and there's a responsibility that comes with being that. Last couple of questions. How's it changed, Casey? You played back in say 20 years ago. What's different now?
The game has changed a lot, mate. I'll be the first to admit I don't understand all the rules anymore. But I love State of Origin time. Like that's the 3 games I'll never miss. Like you wake up on that Wednesday morning, you're just nervous, aren't you, all day? You see all the maroon jerseys and a couple of blues. They're crazy enough to put their blue jersey on up here, and just the anticipation of the game, and always have the Mexican food, always have nachos or tacos or burritos. That's my go-to on State of Origin night. And then on the edge of the couch, mate, and just watching every tackle and every minute, and it's just a great day. And I love Origin. Yeah.
Beautiful, mate. Beautiful. And you've got a maroon bee on too.
I found some maroon there. This morning. So we put some maroon on, but I just love State of Origin time. Like we'll watch the Broncos when I can. Like there's an NRL game that suits and everything. I'll watch it. But State of Origin it's another beast.
Absolutely, mate. Love it. Were you you talked about Mexican on State of Origin? Obviously, that's probably more of a tradition. Were you a superstitious player? Did you wear the same undies?
No, not at all. I had no superstition.
Right. No. Just went out. Did you think?
Yeah. Probably just the wheat bix on game morning was the only thing that I would do. That was sort of routine. But other than that, I wasn't superstitious at all. Was there any players that you can remember that were? There would have been. I think the ones that would wear the same jocks or would do their shoelaces up. Right foot, left foot, and that sort of stuff. But nothing too crazy. That I remember.
Right. Cool. Mate, legend stuff. Last question, and it's an easy one. If you're coaching, say, you know, if you were, say, Billy Slater, or if you were a coach now, and you know, you're a leader in an organisation. We're going to talk about Mark M, so I'm going to give Mark M a big wrap before the end of this. But what's your advice? What's your mantra these days?
Well, I guess, you know, I can only fall back on the good leaders I've had, and obviously Wayne Bennett, fantastic leader, and just, I guess, his strength was his people management. So the one thing I would say is to try and understand who you're working with. You know, understanding everyone's different personalities. Learning how to get the best out of each individual, making sure that each individual knows their role, knows clearly exactly what's required of them. I think that'd be the biggest advice. Yeah. There's no one coaching style fits all. You need to know how to coach the individuals and bring a team first attitude, I guess. Yeah.
Team first. So know the individual, but coach the team.
Coach the team. Like, everyone's got the team first goal. Everyone's got to buy into that, you know. And that is hard in the business world, isn't it? That we know, and you know. But that's what I love about sport, and I think sport can teach our kids so much about that team first attitude, and you know, how we can get to a certain point on our own, but you know, how much further we can get with a good team behind us. So, yeah.
There's some gold in that, Casey.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Go fast by yourself, but go far with others.
Be a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I always say, Casey, that life is a team sport. We try to do it on our own. It's so much easier when we do it together.
100%. Yeah.
Mate, I love it, champion. Tell us about Mark M, man. Why you got the chance?
Yeah, so Mark M Australia. So thank you for giving me the opportunity, mate. That's the team I'm with now. So we're a specialist equipment hire company here in Gladstone. So we work with the refineries and a lot of torque and tension gear, flange faces, laser aligners, all that specialist gear that you know you might just need a couple of times a year or a couple of times a month. We've got it sitting there for hire, and we also do training and calibrations and service and repairs and that sort of thing. So been in Gladstone for a couple of years now. So we've been nationwide for 10 years. Gladstone now, we just opened up in Canada. So it's getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, a little company, but we're getting bigger. So
well, there's a French part of Canada too, Montreal.
There is, yeah. So if an opportunity to go back to France with Mark M comes up, then I'd be very interested.
Yeah, nice. Yep. To the owners.
Yeah.
So Mark M, just very very quickly, who's your gold client? If you're listening to this team and you've got a refinery or you've got a big business, big industry.
So if you're a mechanical fitter, if you're a procurement for tooling, you need to talk to us. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, come see us.
Come see us, yeah. Mark M.
One stop.
marcem.com.au. There you go.
There you go, team. marcem.com.au. Thanks, mate.
Thank you very much for having me, mate.
Oh, you're legend, bro. Absolute champion. I just, you know, I always say gratitude. You know, people like you for, you know, just we try to say thank you, but it's never enough, you know, for you to give us your time and share the wisdom. And I never get sick of speaking to you.
Thank you, mate. Thank you for having me.
Oh, that's great, mate.